Hello and welcome to Christian Boot Camp. I was asked to do a couple of videos, one on the spirit of fear and the other on the spirit of pride. So we're going to combine these two demonic entities and energies into this video. The spirit of fear can enter our lifetime that we're living now, or it can be something that is coming from our ancestors. And this can be pretty evident. I mean, even in America, most of us, if we're not Native American, have ancestors from other places. And when they traveled to this country, they may have been afraid. I mean, especially consider it. Maybe they didn't know the language, they didn't know the customs, they didn't have any money, they were leaving a bad situation and hopefully coming to a better situation, or they were being trafficked in slavery. And that's a pretty scary thing too. So that's terrifying. So these things can happen anywhere there was immigration and trafficking. Also there's intimidation by witchcraft. Some churches preach a lot of fear, and yes, we should have the fear of God, and that is a fear, that's not fear of being afraid of God, that is and we look at God and His awesomeness and how powerful He is, and it's awe-inspiring, and that in itself, it's beyond our scope, so that's a different kind of fear. But when churches use a manipulative thing and condemn everybody and you're all going to go to hell because you're all born corrupt and that's all there, and it's hopeless and narrow is the way. And Jesus came to save us. He came here to open the door for us. He stands at the door and knocks. So he came to give us hope, and we're to encourage each other. So some churches have abused this. There's also a program of fear in the news. This is going to happen, that's going to happen, the water's no good, the food's no good, and yeah, we can pray over our food, we can supplement, we can be intelligent, we can respond, we can pray. But there's a spirit of fear in the news, and we want to be informed. We are commanded in the Bible 365 times not to be afraid. And isn't that interesting that God knew that our calendar, our year, which is different than God's calendar, and that's for a whole other video, God knew, and He put it in there. There's no mistake in what God does, because He's perfect. 365 times. He means don't be afraid any day. Never be afraid. Because if we're walking with Jesus, and I don't remember exactly where in Isaiah it says this, but who are you that you should be afraid of what a man can do? You know, God's the one who made us. What are we afraid of? God knows everything. He promises in Psalm 91 to protect us. So, and these spirits of fear hang out in gangs. So with this fear, if you have a spirit of fear that you want to be delivered from, check and make sure that the accompanying gangs, anxiety, regret, remorse, illogical phobias, overthinking, analysis paralysis, these are demonic entities that go along with fear. And when we're delivered from one, we'll be delivered from many. You want to get the powerful one, and fear is the umbrella. But any related spirits, you want to do that in your deliverance. Now, when you're dealing with fear, generationally, you will need to go to court and be delivered that way, and we did a video on how to do that. And I think there's a whole playlist on the courts of God, and we will expand it. Also, if fear came in this lifetime, let's say you were coerced or felt coerced by peer pressure into joining perhaps one of these secret societies or fraternities and sororities, that's a spirit of fear that goes along with it. Or if you tell anybody, oh, we're going to get you, anything like that, any kind of intimidation is an agreement with that spirit. And you can break all that by going to the courtroom of God and submitting your petition with the appropriate scriptures. So that's it in a nutshell. Besides the spirit of fear in Revelation 21:8, God hates a coward. God hates a coward, and cowards are not going to enter the kingdom of heaven. It's clearly stated there. So basically, a coward has no faith, no trust in God, completely ego-driven, and it completely lacks wisdom. So if you're finding yourself being a coward in some situations, talk to Jesus about it and talk to the Holy Spirit, and you will get the right counsel. But that is another spirit, another demon that is related to the spirit of fear, is the spirit of cowardliness, where you feel like you can't respond, you feel paralyzed. With fear, there's fight or flight, where you feel that you can't fight at all, you got to run away, or you're paralyzed with fear. That's cowardice, and that's another spirit that goes along with fear. Another spirit we want to cover today is the spirit of pride. And you can look in Proverbs 3:7-8. It says, "Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It'll bring health to your body and strength to your bones." I think a lot of wisdom is in the Proverbs. So if you're not really sure about some things, read the Proverbs. And don't just read them like you read a novel. I mean, read one a day and spend a whole day thinking about it, or one a week and really get into it. I mean, the Proverbs are like a gold mine. Job 41 talks about the spirit of pride in Leviathan. And the devil Leviathan, basically, he is the father to the children of pride. So that's a big thing. Pride means that Satan is your father. It's got to do with lies and bullying and witchcraft and basically arrogance, and it's got a secret insecurity to it, and it seeks outside validation. It's always got to be right, and it's got a hard heart. Now, a hardened heart is a very dangerous thing, and we're going to do a separate video on the heart because it's so important. In 2 Corinthians 2:11, it says, "Don't be ignorant of Satan's devices." So in kingdom warfare, we have to know the enemy, and I don't mean know intimately. We have to be aware of what he's doing, and in the Bible, it outlines it. So Isaiah 14:12-15 discusses the pride of Satan, and God hates pride. God absolutely hates it. And when you see things like Pride Parade, this is a double thing that God hates, because it's got that Leviathan twist of sexual disorientation, saying that basically the people involved in that are influenced heavily by Leviathan and by Satan, and it's basically, okay, it's a twist of gender, saying that they know better than God and they're proud of it. It's rebellion, and it's worse than the sin of witchcraft. It's very bad. And it's got to do with a hardened heart. So basically, pride also travels in a gang, and you'll have spirits of arrogance. You'll have spirits, there'll be a Leviathan twisting in it, because the truth will be distorted. And people who have a proud heart, they've been gaslit, and they believed the gaslight. And maybe they had to gaslight themselves to get through something tough, but when we do that, we're in agreement. The truth sets you free, so it requires being very truthful about yourself and your heart and who you are. The spirit of fear and the spirit of pride can manifest as paralysis, physically stiff, mentally stuck, arthritis, headaches, and GI tract symptoms, either constipation or IBS or oscillating. So, but that doesn't mean if you have that, you have these spirits. These are just ways to know. So that is what we needed to say about the spirit of fear and the spirit of pride. And if there's others that you want to be discussed, just please let me know, and I'll be happy to do the research on it. And I'll put all the scriptural references in the description. Thank you for watching.